Hello guys, Raul here. Today I'm going to be talking about pain, tolerance and management. I've decided to talk about this topic because after all those years working in fitness, I realized that people normally sit at two sides in terms of pain. Beginners in one hand are scared of pain, and as soon as they experience any form of positive pain, for example, they just get scared and give up. On the other hand, we have experienced people who maybe neglect the pain, and that results unfortunately in injury. So for me, it's very important that firstly, learn what is good and bad pain, and then we need to learn how address pain and how to make sure that it doesn't get on the way of your consistency, of your training, and obviously achieving and maintaining your results. So let's talk about a little bit about the relationship that you are going to have or you can have with pain. Understanding that any shape or form of pain is going to be present during our journey in fitness is very important. Let me just read the statement I have on the presentation. Pain is ever present in sport. An athlete's ability to tolerate pain is essential to success. Pain provides valuable information about your body and how it's performing. To maximize its usefulness, it is important to understand what kind of pain should be listed and what type is helpful or safe to work through. So let me tell you first what type of pain you can experience, and second, I'll tell you how we can address it to make sure that it doesn't get on the way of your program and in the future for you to preserve your results. So think about the spectrum from the easiest or less painful, let's say, to the hardest and most difficult pain that you can experience. So the first one is fatigue and discomfort. This is an unpleasant feeling produced by effort, but not strong enough to be labeled as pain. We need to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's really crucial when you are obviously looking to progress on your fitness. As such, efforts are regular and necessary for muscle growth and fat loss. With continued effort, discomfort can turn into positive training pain. So we talk about fatigue and discomfort obviously at the early stages of any training program, when we know that the exercise that we are following is gentle, is not that demanding, but it gives us that fatigue and that discomfort. So if we identify that as a positive, obviously we can carry on working on our fitness, whatever your goal is, muscle gain or fat loss. And then with consistency, that fatigue and discomfort is going to become positive training pain. And that is the next stage of pain. Positive training pain. This pain includes muscle fatigue and sensations in the lungs and the heart that can range from unpleasant to what is typically thought as a pain. It is neither threatening or sign of injury because we know the cause, and we are in control of our effort and recognize that these feelings are beneficial and can enhance performance. In short, positive training pain is a good sign of effort and improvement. So this is a clear example on the day by day. We need to make sure that our sessions are demanding so we can experience pain in a positive way. For example, the burning sensation when you are finishing a heavy set, or being short of breath when you are performing cardio exercises. Your body will tell you how much you can push yourself, but obviously we need to find that fine line between being lazy and relaxed and pushing yourself enough to make sure that you are obviously improving on your fitness. The next stage or type of pain in the spectrum is negative training pain. It is still not indicative of an injury, but goes beyond positive signs of training benefit. An example might be extreme soreness that lasts for days, So this is really common, guys, as you've experienced in the past. If you are training today, it's very likely and possible that you're going to be sore later that day or on the following day or even 2 days after training. As I mentioned before, there is nothing to worry about this. Actually, this is a good sign that you are putting your body in a different, uncomfortable position, and that is going to help you to progress on your fitness and achieve your goals. The course of action when we have or experience this type of pain is obviously rest. And this is where programming your training sessions is very important. So you will notice on your calendar, on your training program, that you might have, for example, one muscle group and you won't repeat that muscle group after 3 or actually 4 days, just to make sure that we are resting that muscle group enough, and then we are not on risk of overtraining. If you are sore after 3 or 4 days and you need to train according to your plan, you need to train that muscle group again, I suggest you to reschedule your training session. You need to make sure that you are not sore or you don't have any signs of fatigue on that specific muscle group. Another way to address negative training pain is obviously your rest days and having active recovery days. You will notice on your calendar as well, on your program, that I always scheduled at least 1 day of rest every 4 days. That's a rule that I always suggest you to follow. Depending on the stage of your program and your goals, I might schedule some active recovery days. I'll be talking about this topic later on. The next type of pain in the pain spectrum is negative warning pain, and it's when it becomes really crucial to identify what is creating the pain and address it. It doesn't mean that you need to stop training or that you are not strong or good enough to follow your program. What we need to do in this case is obviously communicate with me and tell me if you are feeling this kind of pain or discomfort, and then depending on the individual case, we can address it. Negative warning pain is similar to negative training pain with the added element of threat. It may be a new experience of pain and sign of an injury occurring. It typically occurs gradually and allows the athlete to evaluate potential training causes and respond appropriately. So this is really common as well on people who train on regular basis, but unfortunately, and the problem is that people don't pay attention to it, they ignore it, they don't address it, and then later on becomes an injury. So how do you identify this pain? So the difference between negative warning pain and negative training pain is that negative training pain goes away after 1, 2, or 3 days, but negative warning pain builds up and doesn't go away after 3 or 4 days. So if you are experiencing any type of pain or discomfort for more than 4 days, please come to me and let me know, and then I'll give you all the guidance that we need in order to address that issue. Most common issues are lower back pain, shoulder pain, knees as well, elbows, and this is most commonly caused by imbalances on the way you move, or strength or muscular imbalances, or maybe problems with the range of motion or the range of movement of your joints. The way how we address this is obviously first identifying the kind of exercises that are making the pain worse, and stop them straight away and replace them with something else. Then we can think about ways how to reduce the inflammation of the area. And another things that we can do is relieving tension with foam exercises, for example. And the last type of pain in the pain spectrum is negative acute pain. It is an intense and specific pain that occurs suddenly, often as a result of an injury. It is often localized to a specific body part and is labeled as threatening. This might be a sign of serious injury or pushing one's body past its physical limits. This is where we don't want to be, guys. In this case, it's better prevent and be proactive than obviously reactive. For this, I want you to remember all the conversations and all the information I've been giving you regarding technique and execution, things like tempo, things like the 6 to 12 and 12 to 15 principle, your resting periods, your breathing technique, and RPE. All those 6 variables that we spoke before, talking about how become or make your workouts more effective and efficient, is not only about that, it's about as well protecting you from negative acute pain. Obviously, if you experience this type of pain, the immediate cost of action will be to stop, seek medical help, and obviously make me aware of the situation. But as I said before, in all my years of experience, more than 20 years, I never had myself or any of my clients suffering from acute pain. So what I want you to take away from this video, guys, is that the pain is always going to be there, but we need to learn how to react and interpret pain. But we need to understand that pain is not only bad, pain is good, and we need to find a way on how to react when pain is there. If you interpret your pain as threatening, or if you focus on the pain rather than concentrate on your performance, the pain will increase and interfere with your performance. On the other hand, if you view pain as something that is natural and necessary and interpret it as a sign that you're working hard and achieving your goals, then pain can be an ally. Another thing is that recognize that you are not on your own if you are in pain. Remember, this is completely natural. So anytime you feel any pain or discomfort, come to me and then we'll find a way how to address it. And for sure, there will be a way to sort this issue at early stages. There is so much research and tools and practices that we can follow in order to mitigate any pain. Accepting the reality that pain is part of training is useful. Comfort and performance excellence are mutually exclusive. You cannot have them both. As I mentioned before, we need to learn and enjoy being uncomfortable. But obviously, we need to be mindful and be open to identify where are we experiencing pain on that spectrum of those 5 stages that I mentioned before. When pain shows up, be willing to feel it fully as part of your experience. Identify the cause and address it immediately. Seek medical advice when necessary. So that's everything I have to say about pain, guys. If pain comes along, guys, please feel free to reach out and communicate with me. You don't need to have the answers. You don't have to know how to address pain. That's my job. If I don't have the answer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physiotherapist. If I don't have the answer, believe me, I will refer you or I will suggest you the best solution. But don't be scared of pain. As I said, pain is normal and it's good and it's a sign that you are progressing. And don't ignore it. Otherwise, the issue is going to become bigger and then it's going to take more time and it's going to take more energy to get rid of it. So let's sit in the middle, address pain, and that's everything from me, guys. Have a good one and see you soon.